Okay, hi. I am going to show you how I put the napkins on the Christmas caps. And I wanted to especially show you this one so you can see I did everything wrong. This was the first one I ever did. I didn't realize that there were 3 layers of the napkin. So I put 2 layers on, and so what happens when you put 2 layers on is, and it hits the Mod Podge, it starts to separate and then it bubbles up. And so I, I kept going, and I actually took a roll of tape and rolled over the bubbles as the Mod Podge started to dry. It was crazy. So I got through all of that, and I got everything glittered and thought it was really pretty. And so I was ready. I was going to spray it before I put the epoxy on there. And for some reason, I've never done it before, but for some reason, I sprayed this stinking thing with Plasti Dip. And so what happened when I sprayed it with Plasti Dip and I put the epoxy on, every place that Plasti Dip, it just rejected the epoxy, and I had big holes. And so by this time, I'd already put so much time into this cap, and I thought, if I have to strip it, I strip it, but I'm going to try to fix it. So, anyway, I'm sorry, my granddaughter was texting in. So anyway, what I ended up doing was I sanded the epoxy as much as possible, and then I sprayed it really good with triple thick. And then I put on another layer of epoxy, and it started looking better. And so I put one more layer of epoxy on it, and it, I think, turned out, I hope you can see it, I think it turned out pretty well. It could have been smoother. It's a little bit, you can kind of feel some ridges in there. But all in all, for everything I did wrong with this cap, I think that it turned out really, really well. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can't mess it up any more than what I did, because I really, really messed it up. And somebody bought it, so I'll be delivering it tomorrow, actually. And I think it turned out pretty. So anyway, everybody asked me where I get the napkins, and I get the napkins from, I don't know if I can say it right or not, Chirotino Emi. I know I really butchered that. It's in Ukiah, California, and it's CHIAROTINO AIMEE. So you can just put that into your search on Google or whatever, and it should bring up this company. I've had really good luck with them. They ship out quick, and I think the napkins, they have great designs, I think. So here are some of the designs that I used, and I believe this one I've used part of it for one already. So I'm just going to show you. There's a couple of different things we can choose for, but I actually have an order for the cardinal, so I'm going to set that aside. But they've just got some really, really cute little designs and stuff that you can make some great cups with. I have put through, let's see, this one. This is another one I really messed up, but I'm giving it to my sister. She takes factory seconds. So anyway, this one I actually put 2 napkins together to get this design. I had to do a lot of hand painting on this one to get it to go together. I don't know if you can see in there, we got the candelabra, and I just really tried to make it be this whole Christmas scene. So each one of these components is from a different napkin. So I even took the floor and the rug from a different napkin, and the curtains, and tried to paint it all in so that it looked like this was just hand painted. And so what I did wrong on this one is I didn't spray the glitter on the bottom. So when I went to epoxy it, I just spread glitter where I didn't want it. But my sister loved this cup, so like I said, I'm going to give this one to her, and she forgives me for my learning errors. So anyway, I swore I wasn't going to be a Gabby Abby, and here I am anyway. So anyway, there's just some really great pictures that you can get on these napkins, and you can make any kind of scenery that you want. So what we're going to do is each one of these napkins has 4 of the exact same scene on it. I like using the fatty because it's nice and straight, and it doesn't distort my image when I try to put it on there. And like I said, I have an order for this one. So when you open it up, you can see that each of these napkins has 4 designs on it. So on this one in particular, I don't want it to just go like this with the two birds on it. I want it to be more a scene that wraps all the way around it. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your scissors. I'm going to put the branding glasses on here. So you're going to take your scissors, and you want to cut as close to the design. Can you see that? As close to the design as possible. If you don't, you're going to get this yellow all around your pretty design, and you really don't want that. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to end up using half of that. So I'm going to cut just a little bit over here towards that other cardinal. Okay, so I need some of this for my scenery. And then I'm going to try and leave that leaf right there for the next design, because I really would like to get at least a couple of cups out of each one of these napkins, if at all possible. So I'm just going to kind of do a rough cut out. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Alright, so this is what we've got now. And I'm not going to keep my sky this beigey color here. I want a pretty blue sky on here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut as close as I can around these trees and this background. I don't want to leave teeny tiny pieces of napkin up there because they're so fragile when they're wet. So I'm going to leave, cut a little bit around here, and we can go back in after it's got Mod Podge on it, and we can use the X-Acto knife and take some out, or I'm going to be painting in such a way that it looks like this is all one piece. So, and I'll kind of try to show you that. So anyway, let's try to get rid of some of this. The more you can get rid of right off the bat, the better it is. I'm feeling kind of clumsy tonight. I've been cleaning out closets and moving furniture all day today, and I'm a little tired. Okay. This is not hard to do. It's just a little bit tedious. And I try to do this. I usually am working on this like at 1 o'clock in the morning because I raise a bunch of grandkids and they're all finally sleeping and have stopped their fussing. And I can have a moment's quiet and really kind of concentrate on this, because you do need to be able to spend some time and do it nicely. I'm going to just go down a little bit there. Like I said, the least amount of this napkin that you can leave on here and still not have this all be too delicate, the better it is. I've seen them where they just kind of cut around it and Mod Podge it on there, and then you get a kind of an, I think it's a not real attractive brown spot all around it. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take a little of this out too, because I'm going to kind of add my own snow, and my cup is already painted white, so I just want to try to get rid of any of this brown stuff I can get rid of. Okay, alright, so we have this. Let me see. Okay. And now you want to separate these layers, and like I said, there's 3, and you're going to think for a minute that there's only 2, but there really is 3. So the easiest way to do this is to come up here on this edge where we cut, and see it's already starting to separate, and I can get right there. Let's see, there's 3. Sorry. Okay. See, there's 3 layers there. Okay. Only want one because, like I said earlier, man, it'll make a mess. Okay. There's a little kind of hangnail on it. Well, my hands look horrible, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been, well, you know what time of year it is, and I've been doing a lot of caps. I totally gave up on a manicure. Okay. Okay, see, that's a little bit harder to pull off, where it's embossed to hold the layers together to be a napkin. So just kind of take your time, and it will peel off from there. It's all along the side and the bottom, you see. So just kind of take your time so that you don't rip your napkin. And take it easy up around those areas that you cut also. So I'm going to try and peel it. Can you see that? Okay. Not sure if I've got my camera pointed well. Okay, so just kind of tear off upwards. There we go. Okay. I really need to change all this. It's all covered in glitter and stuff, but I've just been so busy I haven't had time to. So, okay, so there. We have this cut out. And so now what you're going to do is take your cup. I'm going to just kind of lay this on here and see, you know, how you think this is going to lay out. So on this one, the way that it's cut out, it doesn't really connect here. See, at least this big empty space. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the napkin. After I get this part on, I'll go back to this second part, and I'm going to cut out parts of this landscape, and I'm going to add it back in to this scenery so that it goes all the way around and gives us a pretty continuous picture there. So now, I found this out the hard way. This is the most important thing. Do not put too much Mod Podge on here, because what happens is it just starts to dissolve, and it's just a mess. The first one I did, I made a mistake of putting too much Mod Podge on there, and I had to strip that first cup down. It was a mess. So I lied earlier. The one I messed up wasn't my first, it was my second attempt, and I still screwed up that much on the second attempt. Oh, and I don't always sound this way. I've had a horrible cold, so everybody keeps asking me if I'm people's grandmother, like old people, because I sound so terrible. Okay, so I'm going to just get a little tiny bit of the Mod Podge. Just enough to just, you can just barely see it. And I'll just go ahead and take it all the way up. I know my picture didn't go all the way back up. I'm just going to go ahead and do it all the way up. So, now you're going to take your picture at about halfway, and you're going to lay it on that place where you just Mod Podged and just gently tap it. Okay? That's all you want to do. You don't want to spread it all out and do a whole lot, because what happens is, all this stuff I'm telling you is because I learned it the hard way. What happens is, like, your pictures over here will start to stick like in funky ways, and then you want to try to pull it off, and you can't pull it off because it starts to dissolve again. So we're just going to do that one little strip down the center to start with, and then just fold it back a little bit and put one more light strip. I think my beast is wanting out. I have a Irish wolfhound, and he is such a knucklehead. And in a minute it'll sound like a wolf is trying to claw through my door, and that's his way of telling me that he'd really like to go outside for a moment. Okay, so again, just like hold this up so it doesn't get down before you're ready for it, and just barely, just easily just start tapping it down, try to get all the bubbles out. Okay. Kind of go back over, where you already had. Now you can see there's some bubbles. I don't know if you can see it in there with the light. There you go. You can see that. See the bubbles in here. So we're just going to take our finger and just roll. Don't try to smooth it. Just roll your fingers. And that'll flatten that down. So this isn't like putting on a water slide where you don't want to see any kind of wrinkles at all, because this is a napkin and you're going to see wrinkles. But by the time you're finished painting and you put on your glitter and your epoxy and your Mod Podge and all that stuff, it's going to look just pretty as it could be. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just repeat this all the way around. And again, just start right there and just kind of roll your fingers like that. The other thing with this is it kind of stretches and grows, so you think you got it all on straight, and then you get a little bit of overhang down here. Don't worry about it. It'll all be just fine. Okay, so I see I didn't get any on there, so I'm just going to kind of put some little Mod Podge right there on that edge. And again, be very light-handed so you don't make a hole in it. Okay, that looks really pretty good. Okay, let me see. See how easy that is? So now you go on the other side and you do the same thing. Oh, that says I've already been talking for 20 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a talker. Okay. You see that? And just get it really nice and thin. Appreciate you all asking me to do this tutorial. That's kind of fun. All right, and again, we're just gonna pat it down. See there where it kind of stuck down a little bit. But imagine if it was like the whole cup. It's a nightmare, believe me. I was just kind of like, oh no. I saw it. I saw a cup done like this, and I thought, oh, that looks so easy. And so I just kind of just went full force into making one and found out it wasn't quite as easy. I mean, it's not hard, but it's got a couple little tricks you just got to learn, is all. Okay, see there, I just made kind of a little bit of a bubble, a hole, a little bit of a hole right there, because I got a little bit too much epoxy on it. So don't panic. We're gonna just pat it. We just pat it back down. As long as we didn't lose any of the pattern, it's fine. I was kind of worried about that when I was putting it down. I thought it'd be okay. Okay, so let's see if you can see that. All right, you see this kind of bubbly stuff right there? Okay, that's where I got too much epoxy on. So, I mean, not epoxy, Mod Podge. I'm sorry, I told you I'm about half asleep. Okay, so I got too much Mod Podge on there, but I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm just going to leave it there for now. And then when it starts to dry, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to push it down and I'm going to smooth it out. Okay, so we're just going to let that dry for a minute. See, I have a bad habit. I just want to touch it, you know? I just want to get in there and I just want to touch it because I think I can fix it. And Then I make it worse, so I need to tell myself to keep my hands off of it. So, rest of it looks pretty good. And with this, you know, because the napkin is so absorbent, if it's not all the way glued down, it will be when you put your top coat of epoxy, or Mod Podge, I keep saying that. Okay, so now we're gonna continue our little scenery right there. And so we don't have a huge gap to fill. So what I do is I'm going to get, so I'm thinking about here. Okay. Now I don't want the cardinal there, and I don't want another cabin, so I'm going to cut those out. But I do like this little greenery right there. I want this little piece of fence. Okay. Oh, there's my granddaughter. She's my partner. She's been working. She's going to college and working and raising 2 little girls and helping me do the cups. She's amazing. Hi, Michaela.
Hi.
I'm doing my tutorial. You know what? Just in case, I'm gonna leave those little trees, just in case I need a little bit of extra scenery. Okay. And I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Did you have a good night at work?
I did.
Good. Did you get rich?
Basically.
All right.
It was a good night.
Good, I'm glad. I saw you posted on Facebook that you did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't want a lot of sharp. I'm going to take this off here and then I will add it on where I want it. You don't want a lot of really sharp stuff. I think it's a little bit harder to blend it in. So you can just kind of take stuff and round it off. Okay. I tell you not to do sharp stuff, and I do sharp stuff over here. Okay. Don't listen to me. Okay, so I have another little piece of scenery here to add, and again, don't forget to separate out the layers. This one.
Where'd Rain?
Oh, she spent the night with a friend.
Really?
Okay. So, we can put this right here and have it be like it's continuing that scene. See? So once we've got it painted and everything, you're not going to be able to even tell that that wasn't one piece. So we're going to go back just like we started, and just a really, really thin layer. See, this is starting to dry up. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. So again, just really thin. And I'm going to, instead of starting this one in the middle, I'm going to start it right up against where I want this scenery to be, just so I can make sure that it's going to match up. It's kind of like putting up wallpaper. If you've ever wallpapered a house, I did a lot of wallpaper one time. I had an old Victorian house, and lots of wallpapering for that. Okay, this scene won't show. I could have got just a little bit of Mod Podge on there. Okay. And just follow it around. Okay, let's see here. So I'm not going to need all of this. Probably end. And like that. I think that'll kind of continue on. And then if you'd like, you still have this piece, so you could go back right in here and put more holly and stuff in there too. This will show up as snow. It won't show up as bare cut. So it's really, really pretty forgiving. Okay, there it is. I never move from this spot and lose everything. I don't know how I do that. So